Hey guys, welcome back to Lawntrepreneurship. This is actually going to be a quick sneak preview of what is to come in Lawntrepreneurship 101, our massive online lawn, landscape, snow, business, startup management training platform that's going to be coming out very, very soon. And in this video, I wanted to basically just get into something that really isn't widely talked about depending on really where you're at in your business, but it's having a healthy balance of contracts for steady cash flow when it comes to lawn and snow services. With the landscape side of things, doing installs, the cash flow is usually a little bit different. And so with lawn and snow, I wanted to basically discuss that because that's what it can be, just a totally killer to a business and your stress level as a business owner. Like I mentioned, this applies to both lawn maintenance and snow, but mostly for snow because cash flow can get very tight during the winter, and it's not like you can go out and do a patio when there's a foot of snow on the ground and the ground is frozen and you just can't go do that work. So having cash flow be steady is very, very important, and you don't want to not have enough money coming in that you can't get your bills paid because your stress is going to be just through the roof. So a healthy mix of what you would want to have is 50-50 of per visit and hourly contracts, and then the other half are fixed monthly or seasonal contracts with money that will come in every single month regardless of how many services are done during that month. And that will keep your business profitable in the event of a light or heavy winter, and it'll keep money coming in so that you can at least, well, at a minimum you make money, but you don't have to worry about getting your bills paid. That's one of the biggest things with this, because having too many fixed monthly contracts that won't have a cap, and if you're new to the industry, a cap is basically where an X amount of snow can fall during the season, and then the contracts are going to switch to per visit or hourly depending on the property type and things like that. Or this can also be done on a timeline type of basis, whereas November through March, whenever it snows, we come out and do it at a certain trigger depth, and in April or anytime after or even before November, it is going to be per visit or hourly because it's outside the normal realm of winter season. But not having those caps can take a company out of business because you're earning the same amount of money whether it doesn't snow at all through the entire winter, and you have all kinds of money coming in and not having to spend it on labor or equipment or fuel or whatever. Or there are 25 different snow events, so we want to still have money whether there are 25 events or no snow events. And the biggest advantage to having your customers sign on with these fixed monthly or seasonal rates is that you have predictable recurring revenue through the winter so that you can prepare your monthly expenses for this. And so ideally what you want to do is set up your customer list to have all overhead. These are things like your equipment payments if you have loans on them, or just equipment in general to keep them up and running with maintenance, things like that. Your shop payments, your office payments, owner, staff salaries, insurance, things like that, to make sure that they're met with your fixed monthly snow contracts. And then you also want to have your salt being an additional charge, salt, sand, however you apply it. And then the remainder of your counts, which you'd ideally want to have at least 50% of them be per inch if it's a big commercial place, or per visit, or hourly if it's another type of commercial place. So that when it does in fact snow, more cash flow still comes in, providing, or since you're providing the services, so that your company is profitable. That's very, very important. I can't stress that enough. So here's how my company was profitable with snow and ice management. We operated primarily pickups with plows, started out with straight blades, and then moved over to V's because they're more versatile. This isn't a discussion about what blade or type of plow is better. That's something for a totally different video. But we'd also use snow blowers for doing sidewalks, as well as shovels for the smaller sidewalks, and then small spreaders to get salt out onto the ground, whether it was with a tailgate or walk behind. It depended on the property size. But we subbed out skid loader work to use those for when stacking piles or hauling out snow. But all commercial properties had less than 2 acres of parking lot surface. And this is because we could service them in a proper amount of time with trucks and plows so that the customers were still happy with the timeline that it took to get the job done. And we were happy with how much money we were making with it. And these were all per visit or hourly, and then salt was additional, of course. Then for the residential properties, these were in typical neighborhoods with the 2 to 3 car garages, standard driveway length, and this, yes, it can vary depending on your area. If you're somewhere that's in a rural setting, then you're going to have longer driveways. But for this example, this is what we're going to go with. and half of them were seasonal fixed monthly rates to ensure that all our overhead was met, and then the other 50% were per visit to ensure that we brought in more cash flow at each snow event. If you can take on more and more properties and even do more extra work for your existing customers, such as stacking snow piles or snow blowing snow piles, whether you have a snowblower attachment for your skid loader or whatever, hauling out snow, or even doing one-time jobs for management companies, things like that. These are all things that can boost your cash flow in the wintertime with the equipment that you already have. And one last note on this is that most residential properties aren't going to want salt applied, but for those that did, of course, that was an additional charge as well. That's something just to keep in mind. If you're ever doing salt with your contracts, you always want to have them be an additional charge. One, because there's great margin in applying it, because it doesn't take very much time and effort. The equipment is probably the biggest cost to it. And not only does it make the parking lot or their driveway or whatever safer, the margin is great on it, because it's something that most people are really, they don't want to do it themselves. And especially if you have a big parking lot, it's not going to be done by the property owner because they probably don't have the equipment to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. If this is in the future and Lawntrepreneurship 101 is already out, be sure to check us out, lawntrepreneurship.com. Otherwise, be sure to subscribe to the channel to get more sweet content like this. If you like the video, like it, leave a comment below. And with all that, I hope you guys liked the video. We'll see you in the next one.